There is a lot of nonsense people argue about, especially across the internet. There are some pretty stupid topics debated across the internet. Okay, a lot of stupid topics debated across the internet. Most topics are coming from an area of passion in some way because some people just enjoy debating. It's just like quick play, unranked matches, but in real life. But there's one topic in particular that feels like it's absolute nonsense and is pointless to argue about. And it's very common. And it's the topic of music. Have you ever listened to a song and absolutely loved it, but just couldn't find a reason as for why you just love the way the song sounded? Or maybe you found a song you absolutely hated. Or to put it in a nice way, you just didn't enjoy as much. But again, you still don't entirely know as to why. So music is something that's more personal and intimate. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, well, then that's it. You don't. Even now as I describe it, it's strange because there's not one singular explanation for how we as humans enjoy hearing certain noises, rhythms, and generally just pleasurable sounds. Art is something very subjective and heavily open to interpretation for anyone. Just like most arts, there's no right or wrong answer for what you think of it. When it comes to music, it's different from arts such as films, paintings, or fashion, in that it's more heavily based on someone's identity. With music, there's more of that profound emotional impact on the listener, especially since music allows listeners to create their own stories and reflect on their memories and experiences while they listen to sounds. When watching a movie or playing a video game, you're expecting the experience to escape reality and avoid your real-life problems just for a moment. But music, it allows you to reflect on your reality. Because anyone can sit down and enjoy a comedy from the happiest to the most depressed or the most aggressive person, and each and every single one of them can still find some reason to laugh. Even if you don't like action movies, you can still find value in watching a superhero movie. There's drama, there's comedy, and there's hardships. There's aspects in films that even if somebody doesn't enjoy that certain genre, can enjoy it. In the case of films, you can go all day and describe what made the film amazing, but in music, it's difficult to convince someone why you like the sounds of something. It's just something more personal to you as an individual, For example, Into the Spider-Verse is a beautiful, vibrant movie with an amazing message to take a leap for what you desire. Its visuals look like a comic, and I can go on and on about what I like about this movie, but when it comes to music, it's more complicated. If I told you I love the sound of C major and you were to just tell me, nah, it's trash, what am I supposed to say to that? No? You're wrong? That's not a very strong argument, is it? They accept that the musician is talented, but they could still hate the sounds that the musician makes. If someone has an emotional response to, anything, logical arguments and persuasion alone isn't going to be enough to break emotional attachment. Musical preference is simply tied to one's identity, to themselves. So arguing against someone's musical taste typically becomes a heated argument, not just because they're meat riders for certain artists, but also because it feels like a threat to someone's personal identity. I don't like reggae music in the slightest. It sounds like a jumble of noises with the person trying to sing or rap over the gerbil in the background. But even then, so many people just love it and eat this Joyang up. Regardless of whatever I say as to why I think it sucks, I can't convince the lovers of this genre otherwise. It's simple to do this with movies or video games since there's so much to pick at. But music, what are you going to pick at? Sounds? If someone loves Chicago rap or jazz or indie pop or whatever, that's personal preference to them. To elaborate more on music being personal, in The Last of Us 2, there's a lot of problems with the story. But one thing I loved about the story was the interest Ellie had in playing the guitar. Throughout the game, it shows her personal connection with the instrument. She plays the guitar as some sort of coping mechanism, which brings more of a connection between her and the player. Because after you finish going around and kicking some ass, actually killing some ass and mercilessly blowing the hell out of dogs all the way to the oblivion, it's nice to just sit down and relax and play your guitar. Also, in the story, it isn't just something random out of nowhere in the sequel that Ellie decided to play the guitar. There's a story behind it. The man who cared for her most, Joel, was the one who taught her. And also, I just want to say, spoilers for Last of Us 2, by the way. Like, this is like a major spoiler. I mean, like, it's very beginning of the game, but you know, it ain't trying to be evil. So I'm just saying, spoiler alert for Last of Us 2, last one in y'all. After Ellie loses Joel, she begins to lose everything else. She finds a connection to this man that cared for her most through playing the guitar. Ellie and Joel played the song Future Days, and the line,
"If I ever were to lose you, I surely lose myself."
The song is a reference to Joel and Ellie's relationship. If they were to ever lose each other, they would snap. Something inside of them. Okay, but seriously, they would snap and become some sort of monster, which is the case. After Ellie lost Joel, she became a killing machine. Ellie's relationship with the song and the instrument is so personal and intimate to a much deeper level than just her simply liking the song. Ellie lost someone that deeply cared for her, and Ellie desires to achieve that feeling of nurture again through music. But art is a special way of expression. I feel like the who's in the right approach, especially with music, doesn't impact anything, because logic cannot sway personal and emotional attachments. So rather than arguing what's good music or bad music, how about we just cherish the way music speaks to us as humans? Music is a graceful experience that has the capability to grasp our emotions in unbelievable ways, and we should appreciate that. Except for noise music. That joint is ass and it is not music. Don't even put music in there. Just it's noise. It's noise. You are listening to noise. Like, come on. Because Merzbow's music is not art, alright? That guy's music is an abomination, alright? Because who generally listens to noise music and says, man, I love this joint. This joint is fire. Who goes around